So we're going to go ahead with your recruitment management. And in SuccessFactor, we've already done the introduction, so let's move on. Now, in your SuccessFactor, there are recruitment has basically two important modules, which includes your recruitment marketing and recruitment management. Recruitment management is basically it's a recruiter experience, and that's what we're going to see. That how we can create a requisition, how we can post, how we can schedule interview, how we can once the all the interviews and everything it is done, then how we can basically go ahead and generate the offer letter. All these details we will see into the recruitment management. And what is recruitment marketing? Recruitment marketing, it is a candidate experience. Like when once a candidate applies for a job and all those details that he has to submit and so all those details we will see into your recruitment marketing. All right, so that is what the basic difference between the recruitment marketing and recruitment management it is. And in this particular, the complete session that we're going to focus on the recruitment management. So this is the basic screen that you're going to see when you will start working into the recruitment management. And so you can see there is a job requisition which is coming in, and in this job requisition, which is actually for senior education consultant. And in this senior education consultant, you can see there are total, this is the ID, which is 1061. And this is a pipeline. This is the most important section of your recruitment management, where for that particular position, you can see how many people they have forwarded, how many people they have invited to apply, how many new applications are there, how many people are shortlisted, how many pre-screens are there. Then you will see how many people disqualified, how many people hired, offered, and all these details you will see as you keep on moving the candidate from one step to another. So you'll also have to move this candidate from one step to another. Now here you can see there is a forwarded detail which is coming. So what is forwarded? Forwarded is something which is like when the recruitment agency, they submit a profile against a requisition. So it comes into the forwarded. However, when a candidate directly applies for a position, it comes into the new application. Now why it is, when a candidate applies for a position, it directly comes into the new application, and when agency they forward, it comes into the forwarded, because when agency um, fills a particular they provide a resume against a particular job requisition, they fill very minimum detail about a particular employee, right? So that is the reason it comes into the forwarded. And once a recruiter opens a that particular profile, and if he sees that profile a bit promising, so in that case what he does, the recruiter invite the candidate to apply. And when they send the invitation for the candidate sees all these details, and when he submits it, again it comes into the new application. So this is what um, the first three box that you see, and this whole box, which is you can see here, this is known as a talent profile, or many times people they also call it as a candidate profile. Then you can always, when the new application it is processed, how many shortlisted, how many pre-screening, how many interviews, how many offer, how many hired, how many disqualified, how many they are there for background check, right? So you can see all these details. Now here in this one, you can see there is a senior education consultant requisition which is there, and you can see there are total 7 candidates are there, right? Out of these 7 candidates in this screenshot, you can see there are total 3 profile. Out of these 3 profile, you can also see what is the candidate source, whether it's an internal site, or here you can see there is a corporate detail. A corporate detail in a sense that somebody from the external source they have applied, and internal site it means somebody within the company, they have actually applied something. So that is what you can see the internal side. And here also you can see the status, which is like withdrawn by the, actually this application, the one Samuel you can see here, it is showing as a withdrawal by the candidate. And the another one which you can see, which is like this one is for the interview, and the when also you can see he's there in the offer. Okay. So like this, you will see all these talent profile. And we will see all these detail once we start doing all these configuration. Now here you can see this job requisition, and here you can create as many as job you want. So you can see the job which is there for, they have created for journalist. You can see for the account executive. So like this, you can create your all these jobs. And once you've created a job, you can also see there is various different tab it is coming, which is like job requisition preferences, candidates, interview central, and message center. So job requisition is just a job requisition. Preferences, it's like you're giving a candidate a rating and certain application which is there, right? And candidate is basically, it's like when you have a lots of candidate and when you're searching. Anybody wants to ask some question?
Uh,
Okay.
so,
Yes,
so,
Raghu?
so, Ashish, yeah, the thing is, so for us as a consultant, would we be uh, like building what's, for example, in the job title, there is a HR generalist, right? So would we
Right.
be building what should be like the fields that has to be filled when the requisition for
Yes.
HR generalist is
Yes.
open?
Right.
Okay.
Everything we going to
Yeah.
configure which field you want. Like for example, you can see there are so many job requisition, and if I select here as a HR journalist, there would be certain field which will be there, right? And that field you
Yeah.
can decide which field you want and which field you do not want. And even if there are certain field, you can select it whether you want that particular field as a pick list or whether you want that particular field as a drop down. You want the particular field as a text, right? So you can select all those options, whatever you want. So the complete configuration we're going to see and we're going to learn. That is what the whole RCM is all about.
Okay.
All right. Then you can see there is a candidate tab. It is coming here, team. Candidate tab is nothing. It's just your, like when you see here, you can see there are, these are the just a requisition. When you open like any of the requisition, there will be certain candidate. And if you want to search for any particular candidate, you can search here. Then there is a interview central. All these interview central, it will have the rating for the employee and everything. And then you have a message center, where you can actually track and, track all the employee, what stage they are into, what stage they're not into. Now here you can see job requisition overview, the question that actually you asked, Raghu, that so here you can see job requisition, and here also you can see
Mm-hmm.
the HR journalist profile it is coming. You can see all these status, right? Like the field which is there. So some field you can
Mm-hmm.
see it is like plain text, some field it is drop down, some field it will be a description, and you can also see
Mm-hmm.
this description here which is coming into a gray color, right? You can even
Yeah.
select this also, which how you want and which color also that which you want, so you can select all these details. Then let's see,
Okay.
the recruitment management process. So here you can see the job requisition. So in this new job requisition, you can see there are four different job requisition that is coming. Each time whenever you'll create a requisition, there will be a requisition ID which will be created automatically. Then you can assign, who will be the recruiter and who's going to be the hiring manager for this particular, requisition you have. So like this, you can create everything into the system.
So when, for example, there are like two requisitions, one of them requires 10 fields and the other one requires only 5 fields. So for the user, right, do we set it up in such a way that the user can just select those or create the requisition? Like, hey, in this particular
Not the
requisition,
user. You can create a requisition in such a way, like for example, let's suppose you're doing a posting for India. So in that
Mhm.
case, whenever you post for India, you can select it that it should show 10 field. Whenever you post a requisition for Australia, in that you want 15 field. So you can create those field like this. And then
Okay,
accordingly,
location
whenever
based
location base, whenever you want, you can also do that with the position base
job.
also. But
Okay,
then
yeah.
you will have to select it
Okay,
with
position.
those. So you can select it with all these options. And we're going to see all these options when we're going to start with the regular session. And
Yeah, okay.
now here you can see job posting team. So there are four kind of a job posting you're going to see. One, it is a internal posting. Another, it is a corporate posting. Internal posting, it's nothing, it's just that when you're posting within the company, so that is known as an internal company posting. And all these posting, it comes with a certain date, a start date and end date. So you can see whenever you have the start date and end date. And now this is already posted. And then you can also see there is a corporate posting. What is corporate posting? Corporate posting is nothing. It's just your when you post on the job portal, right? And when the external people they see a particular position and when they apply for it, right? So that is basically it is a corporate posting. Then you can also see there is an internal private posting and external private posting. What is internal private posting? Like, see, there is a one internal posting which is applicable for all the employee whoever wants to apply. But let's suppose there are certain job which you want only selected people to apply to whom you send the invitation. So that is what you can see internal private posting. Like let's suppose there are 100 people in my organization. I don't want 100 people to apply. I want only one specific person to apply, for this particular position. So that is known as the internal private posting. Same thing, you also have the external private posting. External private posting is like like somebody and you want, or maybe you've headhunted somebody and you want that particular person to apply against a particular position. So that's where you send private link to that particular employee and they will click on that link and then they can go ahead and apply for that particular position requisition,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like this you will see all these your posting type and your you can go ahead and post it. Now here you can see these are posted, these are not posted. So if you want to post it, you can select the date and you can go ahead and post all these details. With the external and internal, what happens basically, there is a link which is already there. And that link when you create it, you will be able to see all these position which is there for external, and same it goes for the internal also. We will see that also how we can design that internal setting and how we can design the external setting also, right? How the configuration part, that's something you can go ahead and do all those details. Then now here you can see this career site which is coming. Now this is for the external people, and all these people, when they will search on your company website, they will see what all positions are actually available. And once it's selected, they can go ahead and apply against that position. Now here you can see like there are certain position which is for United States, and then there are certain position which is for UK. You can also select it in any particular area wise, like country, location, department, division. And if you want to search for any specific detail, it's like me, you can come here and search for those specific detail. And that is how, you will get those specific requirement. And if it matches what you're actually looking for, you can go ahead and select. Once you click on this one, you will have to fill your application. And like team, I'm sure if you would have experienced that, if you apply for a certain position in Naukri, and when you click on that, it just takes you to a company website, and you have to fill all those information. That is your application. And once you submit that application, the recruiter receives that as a applicant profile, and they can go ahead and check in all your profile and everything. And if they find you suitable, they will go ahead and process your application. So that is what you will see the career side. Now, this is a candidate profile which I was actually talking about. So initially, you will have to do the registration with your mail ID and the phone number. And then you can see all these like your previous employment detail, formal education document, right? Any document which is required, right? Like your experience certificate or education certificate or any other information you have, so that's something which you can put that into the candidate profile. And once you have
So
this
do
candidate
we,
profile,
sorry, Ashish. Do we configure the candidate profile too? I mean, like, hey, these fields and this options has to be provided, kind,
yes,
or
you
is it
can
like
select
standard?
it. You can select it what you want and you can select it what you don't want,
Mm.
right? You can select all these sections like previous employment, formal education, everything, whatever you will see into the RCM, everything is
Mm-hmm.
configurable.
Okay.
So every detail that you can, but the only thing it is like you cannot delete anything from the system. That is what the in in RCM,
No.
you can create everything, but you cannot delete. So that's what you will see all these detail. And then after that, here you can see the application. So application, like when the employee basically, this is what, when the recruiter receives the application and this is how they will view. But when the applicant apply for a position, and this is what the detail they have to fill, you can see the resume, the cover letter, right? And then there are also certain questions. These questions also you can set, right? Like for example, see in IT, it is like, very often you're required to travel, right? So, and in case if you select it as you do not want to travel, so your application will automatically gets rejected. Whatever the questionnaire you have given and whatever the answer you have set, right? So if in case it doesn't matches your requirement, so those filter, it automatically happens. So we'll see all these detail when we will start doing the configuration, and we'll see that, how we can set up a
Mm-hmm.
job requisition, how we can set up a questions, how we can set up the
Okay.
answer for that, how automatically this qualification will happen. So all these detail we'll see. Then here you can see set up the interview. Once you like the candidate, you can go ahead and set up this interview. You can see here candidate detail, and like this candidate detail, it is for Felicia Ford. And here you can see the status for interview, right? On which date you want to schedule it. So like this, who will take the interview, right? So like this, you can go ahead and schedule your all these interview and everything, whatever you want to schedule, like whether it's an offer, whether you're scheduling interview, how much is like recruiter has given the rating, all those detail you'll be able to see in your this profile, candidate profile.
Okay. Okay.
And after that, you can see you have a candidate rating, right? So, see, there would be certain parameter on which you're going to rate certain candidate, right? Like, for example, here you can see there are three different employee, and these three different employee, they have a different parameter. So, as a recruiter, you can always come and check, who is actually best suitable for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is the actual rating each of them they have got, who has got the highest rating, and maybe you require somebody who's good in Java skill, and so whoever has got the good rating in the Java, you can go ahead with that person. And then whoever has got those the lowest rating, so you can check, and then you can decide it's like, with whom you want to go ahead and with whom you do not want to go ahead. Then here you can see the background check. Background check, again, it is a part of a talent pipeline. Now, the good thing here, it is like, that when you select a candidate and if you select any of these detail, it will show you everything. Or even if you select these boxes, so you will see that here it's like how many people are there for background check. So you can see there are two people here for background check, and then you can select it. Now, obviously, there are certain agency which is tied up. You can set up those agency who will be doing this background check for you. And once the
Mm-hmm.
background
Okay.
check it is done, and then you can view all these detail, like so like this, you can also see how many people are shortlisted, how many people you have hired, how many people you have actually roll out the offer letter, right? So all those detail you will see. So here you can see the offer letter and offer approval. So before you generate the offer letter, you have to take an approval from the person who's actually responsible for hiring for this particular detail. And once they have given the approval, so in that case, you can just go ahead and select those offer letter. Now, offer letter is also of like you can send it in various ways. You can see you can
Mm-hmm.
send as an email as a attachment, as a PDF. You can also send as an email as a text, then you can print and send as a hard code. Then you can see the verbal communication and then online offer. So all these, like whatever way you send, it has to be accepted by the candidate. So, and then let's see how we can do the setup into the system. So this is a route map. Route map plays a
Mm-hmm.
lot of important role, team. It is nothing, route map is nothing, it's just a workflow. So
Yeah.
actually, why certain places we call it as a workflow and certain places we call it as a route map?
Approvals matter, I think. Approvals come into picture with
Yeah, but the
workflow.
approval can also be done in the route map
Route
also,
map?
right?
Uh, okay.
See, my question it is why some places they call it as a workflow and some places they're addressing as a route map. But whereas both the things are same.
Hmm. I know.
Okay. The module which has been developed by SAP, like Employee Central has been developed by AC, there they call it as a workflow. The module which has
Okay.
been developed by SuccessFactor, like PMGM and your compensation and variable pay is one of the oldest module of SuccessFactor. So the module which
Hmm.
has been developed by them, so there they call it as
They put it as
a route map.
okay. Got it.
So that is what the basic difference it is. So it is nothing, it's just a workflow, which is nothing, it's just a notification which is sent to the respective person. And then they decide whether they want to approve or they want to reject. Once they approve, they will get all those details that, like they can go ahead with the next step. And so now here you can see there is a requisition which has been created, and then the recruiter will view that, and once everything it is done, it will be completed. So it totally depends upon how the company wants, a particular requisition to be there. So like this, you will see all these detail. You will have your all these route map and everything. You can go ahead and create it into the system. There are many things which is there into the route map. Like here you can see like setting up a route map. It takes lots of time to explain about all these route map. That's something when we will create it, that's some we will see. So here you can see you have a various stages, which is like modify stage. You have a signature stage, then you have a completed stage. You have your step type, which is single step. You have a iterative, you have a collaboration, then these plays a lot of important role, like start date, end date, and due date. And below that, start date, end date, and due date, you will also see some advanced setting, extra setting or advanced setting, which is there. And if you click on that, it gives you certain other detail also. So all these detail we will see into your route map, how we can create and how we can go ahead and do all these step type, single iterative collaboration and date and everything, how we can set it up. So then there are three ways through which you can create a requisition. And so you can see those three ways. It is copy an existing requisition. This is basically, there is a requisition which is already created. And in that, if you want to copy those existing requisition, you can go ahead and copy those existing requisition. Then you have a browse families and role. What is families and role? There are certain template which is already there in the system and the families enroll. And if you want system to assign that particular job requisition, so automatically it will take it from that template. So that is how your families and role which are there. And then you can also see there is a create new job requisition from the blank template. Now, in case if you want to create everything from the scratch, so you can select the last option. So everything you will have your from the scratch, you can go ahead and select all these options and you can go ahead and create your everything. You can fill all this information. You can submit it for approval. Once approval happens and you can post it, the resume will start coming. Filter out those resume which you can see in the candidate profile. Then whoever completes the entire process or roll out the offer letter, right? So this is the normal requisition, recruitment process, right? Now here you can see this requisition field which is coming here. And as I said, told you in the starting and the question which was already asked by Raghu, you can, set up all these field. There is some
Hmm.
7 to 8 field type which is there. You can set up all these fields just the way you want. You can also see there are certain description which is coming there. So you can also set up all these header and everything, whatever you want. That's something we'll discuss it in the regular session, how we can go ahead and do all these requisition and everything. Then here you can see all these field type and everything, which I was actually talking about. Like here you can see like you can have a text, you can have a numeric, you can have a date, you can have a certain drop down. So like this, you can set up all these field type. There are a lot of field, which is like you can see date, text, text area, pick list, and so many other field also, which is a 7 to 8 type, which is it. So we'll see all these 7 to 8 field type in a system when we will start doing all these configuration. In your requisition, you can also set certain questionnaire. There are certain standard questionnaire which is already provided by SuccessFactor. However, if you want, you can set up your own questions, and those questions you can also give certain rating. And if a person only qualifies that question, then only they'll be applicable for the resume will be submitted. Otherwise, they fail there only, and their resume will not be submitted to the recruiter.
Got it.
Like for example, you will see obviously you have to be 18 year over the job, right? Otherwise, nobody is going to hire you. Second, it is like, are you willing to travel, especially if you're in the IT section? Now, because team, I also take an interview for my company. So I know that, no matter how good the person it is, if the person says that they're not willing to travel, very politely we don't say anything, but we reject the candidate. Right, because
Mhm.
you don't want a liability in the organization, right? You want IT job is something it's like you are required to travel, and so you'll not believe that I joined a company and for 5 years I worked for that company, but whatever my base location it was there, I have stayed in my base location in the entire 5 year just only for a month, and then I have to inform to the company that shift me to my base location, otherwise I'm going to resign. And still they did not shift me. So ultimately I have to resign and come back to my base location. Because I was tired
Okay.
of I used to love traveling, but the way they used to make me travel, one day here, one day there, I got absolutely tired of traveling now. So this is how,
Okay. So,
yeah, so this is how, no, this is something, because I was obviously heading a certain position, so I was required to interact with a client and everything, right? So that is how I used to do certain client interaction and everything. So that is how, it was basically. Now here you can see you can create your own question. Like there are certain standard question which is already there, like basic screening,
mhm.
country specific questions. You also have a minimum work experience and you also have a sales detail. So like this, you will see all these details. Then you have a candidate profile and application where you can see all the candidate profile we have discussed before also. And here you can see all these like Achha, all these section, the one which is coming here, you can select what you want and you can select what you do not want. So here you can see there is a previous employment, work experience, formal education, language skill, geographic mobility, right? You can have other detail also. Document which are required, more information about you. If you have scheduled any interview, you will see all that detail also. If you have generated any offer letter, you will see even that detail also. Whether candidate has selected that offer, by what means you have sent offer, you will see all those detail about a particular candidate in the candidate profile, right? So like this, you will see all these details. Then you have an application. Application is something when you have created a job requisition and when candidate is basically applying for your position. So that is how the candidate will do that. Once they apply for this, then you will get into the candidate profile detail, which the recruiter will see all these details.
Okay. So we also configure what all screens the applicant will see to, right? I mean, the candidate will see.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, you can do in terms of a requisition. But I also told you in the starting that recruitment is basically divided into two things. One, it
Mhm.
is your recruitment marketing and recruitment uh,
Management.
management, right? So recruitment management we're going to cover, but recruitment marketing is a candidate experience. Recruitment management is a recruiter experience. So that is
Yes.
what the difference
Okay.
it is,
Okay. Got it.
right? So we can only configure this part, not this part. So this part we can do that. So this part in a sense, like what you said, we can configure the requisition, what the
Mhm.
requisition that candidate will see and how many fields they're going to see. So if you select it as a position wise, or if you select it as per the location wise, or if you select it as per the country wise, so whatever way you want. So like in one country, I want some field, another country, I want some field, right? So different country also there would be a different requirement, right? So you will see all those detail. You can go ahead and set up all those detail into the system.
Okay.
Then you will see your all these candidate profile candidates application. So let's see the candidate selection process. Selection process is nothing against each of the position. Like for example, here you can see job requisition, which is for VP. So there is your hiring, which is happening for VP of HR. And so this is your job requisition. And you can see there are certain people, 8 people, they have applied, right? Now you know that there is a forwarded candidate, there is an invite to apply candidate, and there is a new application. So like this, you will see all these detail. And So you can set up all these detail. I have already explained you in the starting what is forwarded, what is invited to apply, and what is new application. So same thing you will see in all candidate pro. Actually, this also you can select it. Candidate profile, what you're seeing, right? You can also select it what you want to display and what you do not want to display. But there are first three column which is actually standard. This will pretty much it will be there into all the requisition. After that, you can select it what you want and what you do not want. So that is how you can select it into the talent profile or the candidate profile. And here you can select all these details. So here you can see the status. Actually, this is coming from the agency. This is coming from external, internal. I have also explained to you what is external, internal, and what is the agency. Then here you can see all these statuses which is coming here. Now you know that what is forward. So this profile is actually into forwarded. This is into offer. This is into pre-screening, right? And if you select any of these detail and if you select any of these sections, you can move that into any particular box employee that you want. So like this, you can select all these candidate profile. And now here you can see all these profile requisition you have. These are the number of a
Mhm.
candidate people they have applied. And you can also see the recruiter, you can see the hiring manager. And after that, you can see the active candidate which are there, which means out of like 12 here, rest of the people they are rejected. So like this, you will see all, and if any new position people they have applied, so you will also see that there are new candidate they have applied here. So like this, you will see all these detail about the, now here, this is what actually I was talking about. So if you select any of the employee here, you will see that, like you want to forward them to the next step, move candidate to the next block, add any particular comment, email a candidate for any particular interview process, which is actually there, invite the candidate, which is actually after you're forwarded, right? There is invite to. So if you want to move there, forward to the your acha, if there is a what is forward to the colleague, which means like let's suppose you're looking for RCM candidate, but somebody who's more suitable you find for EC, and your colleague is basically he's looking for a EC candidate. So in that case, what you can do, you can forward this particular profile to your colleague for EC, and there
Mhm.
also he will
Mhm.
start the process for and wherever it gets closed. Actually, if there are two one same person has applied for two requisition, so in that case, whichever will get closed, automatically his profile will get closed into all the requisition. So like this, and in case if you want to see the resume, you can see all those resume and everything. Then here you can see there is an interview email. You will see all these email and everything, right? Now there is standard template also you can select it. If you want to create your own template, you can also create your own template, whatever you want with the subject line and the body line. And if you know your EC, you will know that these are known as a token. So you can configure all these detail into the system. Now, once you send the email and if there is a confirmation also has to be accepted by the candidate, so here you will see all these detail. It will be accepted by the candidate, and once the candidate accepted, you will get the notification and everything. Now here you can see there is an offer letter which is coming here. And before you generate the offer letter, obviously this has to be approved. So whoever is heading that requisition, so that person has to give the approval. Once he gives the approval, you can go ahead and generate the offer letter. So here you can see your next screen, which is actually your offer letter. So you can, we have already discussed this that there are various ways through which you can generate the offer letter, like attachment as a text, as a print, as a verbal offer online, and like this, and you can send it. And you can also create, you can change the text and everything, whatever it is there with the offer letter, what all text you want, what all text you do not want, right? And certain thing it will be taken as token. So all those detail you can do into your RCM.